here is what the heart looks like. I'm actually going to simplify it for you. I'm going to draw you a heart like this. Not quite as big as I want, but that'll be okay. We are going to start with it looking like this, and then we will add in the true nature of the heart as we go. So this actually works though, to start with the heart like your Valentine's heart. I'm going to separate this heart into 4 chambers. The 4 chambers are going to be the 2 ventricles and the 2 atria. The atria are smaller than the ventricles. So these small ones here, here's the left atrium. Atria is plural. Left, wait a minute, what? That's because we are looking at someone and this is their left atrium. So it's opposite of what we are looking at. Here's the right atrium, here's the right ventricle, and here's the left ventricle. In reality, this left ventricle is a bit bigger. It's actually even hard to see on this real image as well. So we can label these same things here. And then we're gonna have vessels going out into circulation. So I want to, in this video, is kind of an overview of the 2 circulatory tracts. So from the left atrium, first of all, we've got a big old vessel here that's going to go to systemic circulation. This is going to go to all the tissues of the body. Here, there's going to be capillaries, and then we're going to lose our oxygen. So the red here is oxygenated blood, and the blue is going to be deoxygenated. Now, I'm not going to name all these vessels right now. We're going to later. So aorta, can't help it. That's the big vessel that comes out of here. What I want you to know is that this is our systemic, I did not spell that right, systemic artery. So what are these? This is our systemic capillaries. And when blood loses its oxygen, picks up carbon dioxide, we make it turn blue. It's going to enter back in to the right atrium. This would be a capillary, kind of looks like that. Obviously, at this point, the detail of what a capillary looks like is not the point. This here is a systemic vein. Veins return blood to the heart, always. We are then going to have that blood travel through here. There's going to be a valve that we'll talk about. And this blood still has no oxygen in it, little oxygen. It's going to travel from the right ventricle to where? Well, through pulmonary circulation. So that means it's going to the lungs. And that makes sense because we have to pick up oxygen in order to function and leave our carbon dioxide behind. So I'm just going to write in here lungs. And at the lungs, what happens to our blood? It picks up oxygen, so it becomes red again, and it's going to enter which chamber? I'm just going to draw this like kind of wrapping around here, our left atrium. Blood enters the atria and exits the ventricles. It's also actually going to have 4 different entryways. We don't care about that right now. Let's label these things. This blood right here, this, I told you veins always go towards the heart. So this is a pulmonary vein. Do pulmonary veins have high levels of oxygen? Yes. So that's that exception to arteries aren't always oxygenated, veins aren't always deoxygenated. It's where it's going relative to the heart. I'm sorry, whether it's picked up oxygen or not. So this vessel right here, this is our pulmonary, what? Artery. Arteries are always exiting the heart, even if they don't have oxygen. Okay, beautiful picture, right? And you could see that over here as well. So this is our what? Pulmonary artery right here. It has a branch, it's actually called the trunk. Here is our aorta. It's going to the whole body. What are these things? These are the pulmonary veins coming from the lungs and carrying oxygenated blood to the heart. So left ventricles all go out, atria all receive blood, arteries all, that means they all are vessels that come from the ventricles. And then we've got systemic and pulmonary circulatory systems. So in reality, the heart's a pump, I told you, it's two pumps, right? Here's pump 1 and here's pump 2. Doesn't matter which one you call 1 and 2. The whole thing has to work as a circuit. So this next image here is the same thing I just drew, right? But a picture that's a little nicer. And this is also showing you the two pumps. So first, let's make sure this anatomy makes sense. Blood, we had to start somewhere, right? Let's say we start from the lungs. We've got oxygenated blood. Do that in black just so it's not confusing. Oxygenated blood coming from the lungs, entering the left atrium, enters the left ventricle, and is pumped out this systemic artery, goes to circulation to exchange with the tissues of the body, becomes deoxygenated in the process, picks up carbon dioxide, and travels back to the heart through the systemic veins and into the right atria. Right atria to left ventricle, out the valve that's there that we'll talk about. Now we're in the pulmonary artery. We go pick up oxygen again. And so pulmonary circuit or circulation, systemic circuit that make up two separate but connected circuits, both pressurized by separate pumps. The pumps are muscular tissue. The left ventricle is higher pressure. Right? It has to pump blood to the entire body, including the head, which is above the heart. And the right ventricle only has to pump blood to the lungs, which is very nearby the heart. So there's going to be different amounts of actual muscle tissue on those two sides that create different amounts of force and different amounts of pressure. So we'll come back to that. One little bit of comparative anatomy that I like to stick in here is this idea of two pumps. Again, not every organism has this. So this is what I just showed you, right? This is what humans have as well. These two separate pumps. Goldfish, actually, many fish don't have that same setup. They've got a single atria that feeds into a single ventricle that then is pumped first to the gill capillaries, where this is where gas exchange occurs, similar to the lungs in humans. Then it goes on to the tissues. So the con of this is in humans, we're basically increasing pressure at this point right here. After we get oxygen, it goes back to the heart and it's pumped out fresh again. This is going to result in a lower pressure system. that is not able to work quite as efficiently. And in a larger organism, you're going to need something different. So this can work in smaller organisms such as fish.